Good day, all, and welcome to another edition of Local Legislator Live at 11. I am your host, Charles Gates, and we are joined today by Arnette D. Love McSwain. She's running for Portsmouth School Board, and she is a minister, a radio host of The Love Spot, motivational consultant, business owner, Army vet, and author. Welcome, Miss McSwain. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mr. Gates. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's such a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you.
Good. Now let's get right into the interview. And again, for our listening and viewing audience, we do call these raw interviews. This is a raw interview series, which means that there will be no editing. We run
Okay.
it as is. There's no robots. There's no script. We just go for it.
All
And it's
right.
all for your information to keep you informed and educated. Now, tell us about Arnette D. Love McSwain. What is your education and occupation, and why are you running for Portsmouth School Board?
My education occupation, I have a associate's in management, criminal justice bachelor's degree. I have a master of arts in management and leadership and a master of arts in religion. My occupation, I'm actually retired as a deputy sheriff, but I'm a work admin at the church that I'm associate minister at.
Okay.
So got a little part-time job.
And you do a lot, indeed. That is for sure. Now, Ms. McSwain, what is your full name going to be on the upcoming ballot?
On the upcoming ballot, I'll be Arnette D. Love McSwain. I'm number 4 on the ballot on the school board.
Okay, we want to make sure we got that right. And we understand that school board members are not required to disclose a political party affiliation. Do you associate with any party whatsoever?
The Democratic Party.
Okay. And how long have you lived in Portsmouth, and have you held any public offices previous to this?
I was born and raised in Portsmouth. I was here until 1990. That's when I left for the Army. So I'm a product of Portsmouth Public Schools. And I returned in 2005 because I went in the Army and I started my career as a deputy sheriff in the state of Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia to Portsmouth, Virginia, because this is your hometown.
Right, right. I
Okay.
left Portsmouth and got out of the military in Savannah, and I was stayed there as a deputy for 6 years, and then I
Okay.
came back home.
Is that right? Now, with your Army service and your community involvement, how has that helped you to prepare for this moment? And what have you done from a community perspective?
Okay, with the Army service, one thing I can say about the Army, they had the best leadership courses. They teach you things that, little things you would overlook, like how to treat your subordinates and certain things to look for, and to look for when they're having issues. You learn about all of that, how to tell when their moods change and how to have empathy. And that's I value that training that I had as a supervisor in the military. Um, as far as my community service, I have served as the secretary for numerous organizations, Church and Community in Action right here in Portsmouth. We do a lot of community work when the citizens have issues and they can't get downtown to the city manager. We go in their place. We donate money to the little leagues, and we just do whatever we can to assist the community to keep it moving. Also, I am the secretary for the Tidewater Metro Baptist Ministers Conference, and we believe in making an impact. What can we do to serve the people, and not just in Portsmouth, but in Norfolk and wherever the preachers are, because there's a group of us that comes together and meet. I was also a secretary of a political action committee. So that's where I learned about politics. That's where I learned, how to do certain things, how to run, what is needed, and basically to listen to the people. A lot of politicians, and I'm not going to point fingers, but they don't listen to the people. It's not about what the people need, is what they think the people need. And you learn as a leader that you have to know what the people need. If you don't know what the people need, you cannot service them well. I always throw out, people doesn't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But if you don't show that you're interested in their needs, how can you show that you care? And so that's what I live by. That's my motto.
And you know what? It's funny you say that, because to be a true leader, you have to really be a good communicator. And unbeknownst to a lot of people, to be a good communicator, you must also excel in listening skills, which sometimes we think is an innate ability in all of us as humans, because we can hear,
Right.
but hearing and listening are two separate things totally. Now, you are also a motivational consultant
Mhm.
and author. And
Yes.
before I even ask you about that, I have to ask you, what is your fascination with butterflies? I'm looking in back of you and I see these butterflies flying all over the place. You must really enjoy them.
Butterflies are, it's the metaphor for, I mean, it's like they go from one animal to a completely different animal. And I think my fascination with them is the change, meaning that, you may go from something ugly, but you can always blossom in something so beautiful and something that people idolize and just want to stare at and look at. So, I mean, butterflies says a lot to me, if other people looked at butterflies like that, I think it would help them with their self-esteem, and just help them move throughout their life. Butterflies are awesome. They go from something so ugly and fuzzy and and then it's something so beautiful you just want to look at.
Well, we can tell that you like butterflies. And that's really well done. I like the B, the capital B and the small B. That is beautiful. Now, from a motivational, I know we got thrown off course here, but I couldn't help it. And that's why we call these raw interviews. We are not scripted here. But from a motivational consultant and an author point of view, number one, what is a motivational consultant?
Okay, a motivation consultant is my business. I in 2015 I officially started a business called I Accept Me Divine Loving Me Movement. And what this business does is it empowers other people. It teaches them to accept themselves no matter what's going on in their life, what they look like, what they don't look like, what they don't have. And so what happened is, like, I used to be a size 6 back in the day, and even as a size 6, I wasn't everybody's cup of tea, you know. And now that I'm not a size 6 anymore, I'm somebody's cup of tea, but not everybody's cup of tea. So it doesn't matter. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to benefit or be relevant to everybody. You need to accept yourself. And then if it's something that you don't like, you change it for you and not for someone else. So when I was, I was praying one day. I was at work. I was in the sheriff department. And I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? You got to be something else. And so this young lady, beautiful young lady, walked in the door with a knot on her head. And I was like, what happened? Immediately. And she told me that her boyfriend had hit her with a coffee mug in her head, in her forehead. And from there, I was like, I got it. I have to tell people how important they are. I have to tell people what their worth is. And I went from there, and that's what I started doing. I started having seminars for domestic violence for the women, started calling in people to come in and speak to them. I started having seminars just for girl talk and teaching lessons about life. I started having events for men like Father's Day, gospel concerts. I started doing bullying um, classes for the children. I would go to the different neighborhoods and set up classes in their recreation room and talk about bullying so they can identify if they're being bullied and identify if they are the bully and what to do. So that's why it's a motivation consultant. I go to schools. I talk to the young people in schools. I get them thinking about their future, getting them planning, making goals and short-term goals, long-term goals, and just get them thinking about what do I want to do? Because I know that at the end of that 12th grade, that's it. Your parents expecting you to do something. You got to go. I know my mom was like, you're going in the military or you're going to college. And I wasn't a college type person. At school, I was, thank you, Lordy, you know. And but I ended up going in the military where my supervisor was from Norfolk. And somehow him and my mom connected, and I was standing in front of the college. So I got, I got hoodwinked. But that is what I do. That's why is a motivational consultant, because I'm always doing something to try to let people know, hey, I don't have to be your family, but I can still love you. And if I can love you and God can love me, you can love yourself. And I felt that would help decrease suicide.
Okay. And you are also a published author.
Yes, I'm a published author. And my book is called But You're a Minister. Hopefully I can see it.
Just happen to have it next to you, huh?
Yeah. Now this is the thing. This is not your average religious book. This book talks about when I wasn't saved. This book talks about where I came from and the things I used to do that was not godly, and but throughout the entire book, I revert back to the scripture of what I should have been doing at the time. Instead of trying to play men for their money, this is what I should have been doing. Try to not spend my check. You know what I'm saying? Because I always made money. I wasn't broke. I was just doing it. It was a game. And so I wanted people to see my transparency and let them know that if this is something that you're doing, you need to stop, because you might not be as lucky as I was to get out alive. Because I think I talk about my girlfriend who had got killed playing the same game, So I just wanted to reveal some things and let people know that I can be used. If I can be used, you can be used too. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. You can always have a new start.
Just like that butterfly, everyone's not perfect throughout life.
That's
That
right.
is so true.
That's right.
Now, let me ask you this. What, if elected into the Portsmouth School Board, what are your 4 main goals?
Okay, if I'm elected, my 4 main goals is the first and foremost, I want to make sure that our staff is receiving a competitive pay. Right now, we're the 3rd in salary. So that means we got 2 more cities that we can lose our staff to, and we need good staff. We need good teachers. We need good coaches. And I just feel even to the coaches, they don't put their all in it because they're not really benefiting all the hours that they put in with our children. We're not really paying them what we could. But I want to make sure that we are reaching the max. I want to say, okay, there's no wiggle room right now. We have given you all we can give you. I want to make sure we're paying them well. I want them to be able to take care of their children while they're taking care of our kids. My son is still in school, and it pains me that a teacher who goes to school for 4 to 6 years or more have to come to school and deal with my child and his behavior and other kids' behaviors and be stressed out with that, and then you have to go home and can't take care of their bills. So you probably have to go and get you another little side hustle, whether you're tutoring or whatever you're doing, cleaning up something. I mean, we got a lot of teachers with second jobs. And I don't think that they should have to live like that. When you work hard and you set the foundation for a decent life, you should be able to make the pay that you deserve. Okay. And so I want to do that. So that's one. And the second thing is I want to make sure that when I work for the citizens, I'm working for all citizens. I'm fair, I'm equal, and I'm respectful. And I know that sounds probably minor to some people, but that's important. It's important to respect everybody. I called the school one day. No, the school called me. It was a nurse. And the nurse was so rude because she thought that I was my granddaughter's mother, who was a young 20-some-year-old mother. And she was so rude. And I don't have any girls. So she was like, well, your daughter needs to be picked up. I said, excuse me, my daughter? Well, don't you have, I said, I don't have any daughters. Are you talking about my granddaughter? Then her attitude changed. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And she became much nicer. And my whole thing with that was, is this how you're talking to the young mothers when you call them or when they call the school to get a question or to voice their concerns? And then we wonder why they come up to school and flip out. Then we want to say, let's call the police. But this is just a reaction to what you have done or what you have said. So I think it's very necessary to be respectful all the way around, and to me, you get more done with respect. Soft words,
So
soft
words,
words.
but mean so much.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
do you have a 3 and 4
I
in terms
do,
of the
I
goals?
do.
Okay.
I do. I want to work with the teachers and all the stakeholders to create a curricular pacing guide that allows for flexibility and creativity in learning and in teaching, which means I don't want to see the teachers just teaching the test. I know that I can't overstep our superintendent, but I can lobby for that curricular change where they have the opportunity to put in their own lesson plans, maybe have time for them to do that. The teachers go to school for a long time. They learn a lot, and we limit them to just what the kids are going to be tested on. I don't think that's appropriate. I think they should have the ability to teach a little more or teach something differently. If I know, like with the math, we learned our old math. To me, is easier than the new math. So if the kid can't get the new math, why we can't teach them the old math so they can get it? And I think that the teacher should have the say in whether or not the old math would be better for this child, because he can't get the new math. And then I want to support a technical school for our students. Like I said previously, I did not want to go into, I didn't want to go to college and I didn't want to go in the military, but my mother didn't give me a choice. It was one or the other. But nowadays, these children are doing what they want to do. They're not really listening. And so they end up not wanting to go in the military, not want to go to college, and then end up doing something they have no business doing. Not all of them, I don't want to stereotype, but a lot of them are whatever they can to make some money. And then a lot of times they end up with children. So now it's whatever they can to take care of their family. I want to make sure that they're prepared to make a feasible income, whether they go to school or not, whether they go to college or not. If we teach them a trade, they can make money. And I would rather help a young person that's out here building sheds than to go to Lowe's and purchase a shed. If I know that he's been trained, I will pay them to make sure that they can take care of their family. And I think that we need to prepare them for that, not just expect them to go to college because it's not for everybody.
Like the football player from the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, once said, "The separation is in the preparation."
Mhm.
Those are words to live by. Now, before I ask you the last question, I want to send this out to all our viewers out there and our listeners to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, connect with us on Twitter and Instagram, and like our Facebook page. Leave us a comment, leave us a tag, let us know who you'd like to hear from next, and we will do our best to get that person or that organization on the air. And by the way, we do these live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. We live stream via Facebook. So make sure you connect with our Facebook page, Local Legislator LLC. And Ms. McSwain, one last question for you.
Yes, sir.
How can we get in touch with you, your campaign, and anything else about you, up to and including the book you have?
All right. I do have a website, and I chose to leave everything on my website because I want everything about me be in one place. I don't want you to be trying to figure out what I've done. It's there. If it's not good enough for you, it's still there. So you can reach me at www.devornlovingme.org. That's www.devornlovingme.org. That's my website. It has my campaign information on it. My phone number is 757-966-2006. You can call, leave a message. I will return your call. And you can catch me on Facebook. My Facebook is Friends of Arnette D. Love McSwain, and also Arnette Love McSwain is my regular page. This is open page. I don't hide anything. I believe in transparency. And I'm also on Instagram on the Min Arnette, MINARNETTE. You can get me if you desire. And then I'm on the radio station at 11 o'clock, 1400 a.m. In Portsmouth, Virginia. Well, we air through Norfolk, but if you're in the Hampton Roads area, you should be able to hear me. I'm up there as well. And then I Facebook it as well.
So you are easy to get in touch with, that is for sure.
Yes.
Well, Miss Arnette D. Love McSwain, it has indeed been a pleasure to have you on. And again, we
Thank
do
you.
these raw interviews to give the public, the constituents that you will be working for, if you happen to be successful in this venture. We simply want to provide information. And for those of you who don't know, we are locallegislator.net, where our mission is to be the premier source of local election information in the United States and an advocate for the sustainability of local businesses nationwide. Again, Ms. McSwain, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck with your campaign and everything that you're going to do in the future, and take care of those butterflies in back of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Until next time, guys, this is Charles Gates, your host, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.
All right.